Hey, glad you're here. Let me tell you a story. It's simple, but powerful. And maybe by the end, you'll see a little bit of your own life in it. There was a boy named Arman. He grew up in a tiny town. His dad passed away when he was just a baby, so it was his mum who worked herself to the bone, trying to put food on the table. Arman wore old clothes, shoes so broken the soles barely hung on. At school, the other kids teased him, called him dirty, called him a beggar. One blazing hot morning, Arman was walking to school when he noticed another boy sitting off to the side. This boy didn't have legs. He was just watching while the other kids ran and laughed. Arman slowed down. The boy looked at his shoes, those broken shoes, and smiled. "Your shoes are nice," he said. That landed differently. Arman looked down at those torn-up shoes, then back at the boy's empty legs, and something just shifted. He thought, yeah, maybe my shoes are ruined, maybe I get laughed at, but I've got feet, I can run. That night he couldn't sleep. The boy's words kept circling in his head. And for the first time, Arman felt thankful. The next day, when the kids laughed at him, Arman smiled back and said, "At least I can run. Some children can't." And the laughter stopped, at least for a while. After that, he worked harder, helped his mum, studied more, sold newspapers, polished shoes at the train station, saved every coin. He refused to beg. He gave what he had every single day. Years rolled by, and Arman scraped together enough to open a tiny shop. Flowers, gifts, handmade products from poor families. People started seeing him differently. Not that boy with broken shoes, but someone with ideas, someone with hope. And when the business grew, when it turned into a brand with stores and customers all over, he still kept those old shoes. People asked why. He'd smile and say, "They remind me that success isn't about where I started. It's about what I chose to believe." Now, pause for a second. Think about that. What do you believe about where you come from? What stories do you tell yourself about your own shoes, your struggles? Do they keep you small, or could they actually be the very thing that fuels you? That's the part of Arman's story that sticks with me. Gratitude isn't about pretending life's easy. It's about recognizing the little gifts tucked inside the hard stuff. He didn't deny his pain, but he noticed something worth keeping. The fact that he could move forward and belief. Well, it always comes before possibility. It's not the shoes or the money or the perfect connections. It's the belief that those things don't define you. That's what gets the fire going. And you know what? It wasn't one big dramatic leap that made Arman who he was. It was the small, steady stuff. Selling papers, saving coins, showing up day after day. It's the little things that stack up into something big. And those shoes. Keeping them wasn't about shame. It was about staying grounded, a reminder of who he was and why he worked so hard. Sometimes the things we want to hide are actually the things that keep us strong. There's also the spark of empathy. That moment with the boy who had no legs, that's what lit the fire. Arman didn't just want to climb out for himself. He wanted to build something that could lift other people too. Funny thing is, modern psychology backs this up. Gratitude, real gratitude, not just slapping a smile on things, actually builds resilience. Believing you can grow, what they call a growth mindset, changes the way you face setbacks. Instead of being crushed by failure, you treat it like a clue, a step. So let me ask you, what broken shoes are you carrying right now? Maybe it's self-doubt. Maybe it's something someone once called you. What if you could see what you do have, even if it is just the ability to keep moving and start from there? What tiny act could you take this week to remind yourself you're more capable than you thought? Almond's life whispers this truth. We can become what we think. We can choose what to believe about ourselves, about our future. No matter how rough the start, no matter how worn out the shoes. So maybe tonight, as you're listening, you can make a little decision to not be defined by where you came from, but by where you're heading. And if this story stirred something in you, maybe share it with someone else who might need that reminder. Or even write down one thing you believe about yourself today, so you don't forget tomorrow. Thanks for listening. Keep stepping forward.